Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to episode number 11. Episode number 11, the final system. It's been crazy. I can't believe we're already on the last system already, but it is what it is. So, today we're going to be talking about the reproductive system. Of course, this is the series. I'm going to say it: COVID-19 and the impact it has on the body, specifically body systems. Today, we're doing the reproductive system. I'm just going to say, found out a lot of things that I was not ready for, but first we're going to find out the function, then we'll talk about what COVID does. But the reproductive system is very important when it comes to, making a child, adding on to the family, welcoming one into the world, however you want to put it. The reproductive system comes into play a lot. It's actually very important. Now, there are four main functions that this system actually does. It actually protects the egg and the sperm cell for a male and a female, protects those. It's the transportation of safety to these cells, trying to make sure that everything is doing what it's supposed to in a secure but also safe way. Nurturing the developing offspring as the baby begins to grow. Of course, you want to make sure that it is getting the nurture that it does need to stay healthy and actually produce the hormones for these things, produce different hormones to kind of get everything going on and keep everything at a steady pace. Now, with that being said, this system is responsible for how babies are born. But other than that, everything is pretty self-explanatory based on what I just said. Now, how does COVID affect this body system in particular? Just like every other body system, COVID does affect this one quite a bit. After doing a lot of research, I found out that the coronavirus, when it comes to the reproductive system, rarely attacks women and mainly focuses on the men for this one. And I'm going to say that the reproductive system is attacked by COVID and it aims straight for the testicles. So as a male, I was really just shocked and like, ow, but after doing a lot of research that's what I found. And sadly, like 20% of people who have had the COVID in their testicles have actually passed away. So it's not something to laugh about, and it's not something to take lightly. Like, people have passed away, and yes, it was in a weird part of the body, but COVID actually ended up killing these people, which is really unfortunate, and it's sad, but that's just the power that COVID has, honestly. Now, there was a man who had COVID in his testicles. Of course, he tested negative. Everything went fine. He was a survivor, which was awesome. And doctors asked if they could do some research on him, like run some tests, see what was going on, just to find out information. The guy gave his consent and then went ahead and went for it. Now, keep in mind, this was 6 to 8 weeks after he got tested negative. They did some tests and they found out that coronavirus, the actual virus, was still living in this man's testicles, and he was tested negative. So that goes to show that even though COVID is no longer, like, you're negative for the disease, that does not mean that it completely goes away. It is still in your body. It just has not affected you or attacked anything anymore because your immune system has built up immunity to it. But 6 to 8 weeks after, so a month and a half to 2 months after he got tested negative, COVID is still in his system. It's still there. Some of the symptoms in this are a lot of pressure, a lot of testicular pain, it's a lot of aching, and it's really uncomfortable. It's not exactly something that you would want. You don't want pain anywhere, but of course in a sensitive area like that, you really don't want that at all. So that's one of the doctors say that men with most testicular pain almost need to get a sperm count or like check their sperm immediately. The reason why is because when COVID actually gets in the system, it may affect the production of sperm, meaning that guys may no longer be fertile. It really depends on how much it affects them. But if there's a man trying to add on to his family and he gets COVID in his testicles, then he is in a pretty bad spot as far as luck goes. So honestly, when you do have this, you want to get your sperm tested almost immediately just to see, is it still fertile or is COVID kind of taking that away? And that's also another sad thing. It's a lot to take in, but that, once again, that is just one of these severe effects that COVID has on the reproductive system. Now, The testicular pain specifically gives information, actually gives a sign of whether or not COVID can be sexually transmitted. That has been the biggest questions. I did read an article saying it can be transmitted through sexual activities, as far as, you know, kissing and touching and things of that nature. But as far as sex itself, there's not been enough information that can make that theory a specific law, like print it, stamp it, it's done. That is exactly. So is COVID sexually transmitted? They are currently still trying to research this now. Now, is there any treatments for this situation? And to be honest, it's actually very hard to say. There are treatments you can do, of course, as far as taking medicine and, you know, relaxing and doing your 14 days of quarantine and relaxing, just like I've told you in almost every other video. Like, treatments for COVID are very similar. COVID just attacks the body in different ways, but we all have the same immune system, blood flow, blah, blah, blah. All the systems are different but similar, but COVID attacks them very differently. But treatments will also be the same because the body's the same. It all works together to maintain homeostasis. That's exactly what it does. Now, of course, the main thing is to take a warm bath, try to get some heat down in the testicular area, try to ice your testicles if necessary, just to get some of the pressure and the pain to go away. And if there's swelling as well, icing is definitely, it's going to be cold, but it will definitely help you, of course. Take some ibuprofen or aspirin if there is any pain or aches like that at all, just try to get everything to go down, of course. And that is pretty much the biggest things that will benefit people the most when it comes to the testicular region of their body. But other than that, the best thing to do is honestly pray. Number one, pray. Number two, once again, the healthy diet's everything. You have to take all of that in consideration because your body tries to maintain homeostasis. Do whatever you know will benefit your body. Give yourself that nutrient. You know, if anything, you deserve it. Put it that way. You deserve that nutrients. That's the best way to put it. Of course, stay safe. Try to social distance and everything. So, some of the best things you can do. But this is going to conclude episode number 11. Now, the next 2 and final episodes of this series, sadly, are going to be a little bit different. We have covered all 11 of the body systems, so now I'm going to explain a couple of vaccines, and I'm actually going to show you, the mask that I made, and I'm going to tell you why it's better than the average mask. We'll get into that later, but anyway, peace.